Okay, okay. All right, my name is Jeff Dayton. I'm a licensed professional counselor. Many people call me a licensed therapist. The reason I got into counseling, man, I always had a love for helping people. So I wanted to impact people on a different level, and I did some research, and I looked up how many therapists. Number one was in Kansas City, and then I looked up how many black male therapists was in Kansas City. So once I started doing my research, I discovered, like, man, it's only a few black male therapists in Kansas City, and nationwide, 0.7% of black male therapists are in the country. So you think, like, damn, that's very few, far in between. A lot of black female therapists service the Kansas City area, but very few black males. So I decided to go back to school. I really didn't feel like it. I thought I was done, but my heart was wanting to go deeper and impact people in my community that look like me. Because what I didn't know about therapy was when you go to look for a therapist, man, black people have a choice. We just thought, hey, I'm going to get some therapy, and whoever's sitting in front of me, man, that's what I have to take. And where I'm at now is, hey, you know what, if you're looking for a therapist, you have the right to say, I want a black female, I want a black male therapist. So my journey took about 5 years to go to school and get licensed. And man, I love what I do. And more importantly, man, I love serving everybody in my community. To seek therapy for, man, people in our community, you know, we grew up in an era where what happens at home stays at home. And so we grew up saying, hey, you don't talk to nobody about how you feel, what you think, personal information that goes on in your life. And so black men have the highest level of mental health challenges in America is because, man, we don't talk to anybody. We suffer in silence. And so we suppress those emotions day after day, week after week. And what typically does that look like? Man, it comes out in anger because we don't have a safe space to articulate how we feel, challenges that we're dealing with. And so most of the time, men in particular don't even feel safe enough to have these conversations in front of their significant other or their wives. So they suppress it. I could see you, you could see me, and we could both be dealing with something. And there's a word for it. It's called emotional incarceration. You dealing with it and I'm dealing with it, but man, we ain't even talking about it because we've never created a space to have intimate conversations. And once you get in front of somebody who's saying, hey, you know what, let's peel back the layers. Let's have a real conversation. Man, I'm going to say 90–95% of men cry because they've been holding on to stress, the pressure to perform, everything that society has put on our backs. Man, we just keep going every day. We keep pushing every day. And typically we carrying everybody in our family's baggage. Who's carrying ours? So it's so important for especially black men and young black men to talk about what they feel, how they're experiencing what they feel, and do it in a safe space that's somebody that looks like us. So that's why it's important for me. This toxic masculine word that they've put on us, like growing up, suck it up. And we're going to talk about it today. Suck it up. You soft. Stop crying. Over time, it's like a balloon. It builds, and it's going to pop. And so is it soft for me to articulate that I'm hurt? God didn't make emotions just for women. They made it for everybody. And so we as men we haven't had a space to feel safe enough to talk about how we feel. And the first step to say, man, I really need some help. Man, it's hard to do. Because what do men do? We don't ask for help. We just keep fighting. We keep grinding. What does grinding mean? To wear down. Man, when you go to the store sometimes, look around. You'll see, I'm talking about people that are a little older. The woman, she's walking around. She's hippity-jippity. Man, the man is on a cane. He's limping. He's barely getting through the store, man. He's tired. He's down to his brake pads and rotors because he's been grinding his whole life. And I guarantee he never had a space to say, you know what, man, I'm tired. Or I'm hurt. Never had a safe space to articulate how he feels. So I encourage every brother to give yourself an opportunity to come in, peel back the layers, and have a conversation not only about what's going on in your life now, but the trauma that you experienced growing up as a child. Because we carry that. And most of us, man, we never heal. We carry a badge of honor. Man, I'm good, I'm straight. And man, you about to have a heart attack because you're carrying all that stress because it's toxic in your body. So any man that says, man, I don't want to talk to nobody, I would encourage them, give yourself an opportunity to purge the stress that you have in your life that you carried since you was a child. You know, unfortunately, there's a minimal resources, but I think what you do, mentoring young men, you're a first responder and you don't even know it. So more men like yourself having a space to operate and give people a safe haven to come and have a conversation with you. Because the issue with seeking maybe therapy is, man, there's always a backlog. There's always, man, I got a full caseload, man, I can't take you on. We don't trust the police. You go to a mental health facility, it's typically white people serving people in the black community. Black people don't want to talk to white people. So create more spaces like you with mentorship and people like me coming in, there's very few of us to have those intimate conversations. But superheroes come in different forms and different fashions. And so in our community, man, we have to create more spaces for those opportunities to happen because it's just far and in between, man. But you probably wouldn't consider yourself a superhero, but you are. Yeah, you saving lives, dog.
Appreciate that, man.
No, you are. Seriously. You saving lives. You know, for me, especially in this kind of environment, man, you know, I didn't grow up with no father. So I want to give what wasn't given to me, you know. So, you know, when I see young men struggling, especially single parent mother, I think about my mother. And if my mother asked somebody, hey, can you help my son? So, man, I really overextend myself because I would want somebody to have done that for my mother. So when I go into schools, or I go down to juvenile detention, man, sometimes it's hard walking away, man, because there's very few men putting their hand on our young brothers, man. And it breaks my heart because I can't help everybody. But when I see what you're doing, dog, it just, man, it touches my heart, man. Because it's a lot of brothers not, it just ain't happening. The churches ain't doing it. You know what I'm saying? So I typically encourage young men to figure out what they like. Because, you know, sports is a small snippet of what life is going to be like. So, you know, figuring out, you know, what I like and really what my purpose is. And so there's a lot of young men in school who may not do well academically, man, but they might do well in robotics. But they figure, man, I'm too cool for robotics, man. I'm not gonna sign up for that. And so I did a little research. There's a black engineer conference every year in Chicago, robotics for black boys. And so I always encourage black boys, because man, you can assess early on if they gonna make it to that level or not, and encourage them to figure out other things that they interested in, and let's look at, I mean, this is what it'll look like in the future, because most of the time nobody's taking the time to have those conversations with them outside of sports. And so There's probably 7, 8 boys in the last year I encouraged to do robotics. And once they see their partner doing it, it's like, oh, okay, I'll give it a try. And they get in there, man, and we resilient as black folks, man. We get in there and we figure out how to do things, and now it's fun. And so thinking about, what does an engineer do? What does this profession do? I'm just encouraging them, man, and I help them do the research. So it's like a soft handoff, man, because everybody can't play sports. So, yeah.